Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. According to the Sunday Times, Man United step up their effort for Zinedine Zidane to replace Solskjaer. The club hopes that Zinedine Zidane's close relationships with Ronaldo and Varane can help persuade him to join. Now I think Zidane would be the man for Manchester United. I think Zidane would be capable of winning trophies at Manchester United. I think he would get us back to that level where we should be at, and he would suit the strappings of the club. Zidane is managerless. He left Real Madrid in the summer. You've got to admire what he did at Real Madrid. He won quite a lot of trophies with them, so reflecting on that, he's got a good pedigree behind him. Zidane has not yet managed in the Premier League, so it'd be good to come and see him experience the Premier League. Zidane is a far superior manager to Solskjaer. Earlier on this season, it said Manchester United held talks with Zinedine Zidane, and reports from Spain did say that Zidane rejected the Newcastle job as he's waiting for the Man United or France job. It was saying that Zidane wasn't interested in the Manchester United job. He's currently enjoying life away from football management. Now, I just want to give you some more news on Brendan Rodgers. So, Brendan Rodgers is house hunting in Cheshire. So, reflecting on that, Brendan Rodgers to Manchester United is close. Rodgers is the favourite to replace Solskjaer at Manchester United. Apparently, Brendan Rodgers has verbally agreed to become Manchester United's next manager. Manchester Evening News said the other day that Manchester United are ready to trigger Brendan Rodgers' contract clause if Solskjaer gets sacked. Man United are confident that Brendan Rodgers will be their next manager. Should Brendan Rodgers replace Solskjaer? If Brendan Rodgers became Manchester United's next manager, would he get the best out of these group of players? Would Brendan Rodgers be capable of winning trophies at Man United? There is some United fans that want him in, but on the other side of things, I think there's some United fans that don't want him in. You've got to admire what Brendan Rodgers has done at Leicester. So far at Leicester, he's won the Community Shield and the FA Cup. He's been in charge of Leicester for almost 3 years. He's got a contract with Leicester until 2025. Before, Rodgers has managed Celtic. He won a few trophies with them. He enjoyed a few years with Celtic. Before, he's managed Liverpool. You can say he enjoyed one good season with Liverpool, but he didn't win anything at Liverpool. But Rodgers came close to winning the Premier League with Liverpool. Before, he's managed Swansea. He did very well there. A long time ago, he managed Watford and Reading. And a while ago, he managed Chelsea's youth. Pochettino to Manchester United is a possibility, because it's said that Pochettino will consider returning to the Premier League in his next job. Pochettino has one full season left on his PSG contract. He did say not so long ago, though, that Pochettino sees his long-term future with PSG. We tried to get Pochettino when he was managerless. Obviously, Pochettino held talks and that with Manchester United. I do think that Pochettino is a good manager, even though he hasn't really won anything. I think he's won one trophy with PSG so far. Pochettino did very, very well at Tottenham. Even though he didn't win anything at Tottenham. Pochettino enjoyed a 5.5-year tenure with Tottenham, and analysing the vast majority of his tenure at Tottenham, Tottenham were competing in and out of the top four. But in 2018, Pochettino guided Tottenham to their first ever Champions League final. And I think Tottenham made a big mistake sacking Pochettino, revert back to what I've said before. Ralph Rangnick, he's been spoken about as well. But Fabrizio Romano recently gave us an update on Ralph Rangnick, and he said Man United turned down Ralph Rangnick. There was rumours of Ralph Rangnick coming in as the interim manager until the end of the season. Erik ten Hag, he's still being mentioned a lot. You've got to admire what Erik ten Hag has done at Ajax. You know, he's won quite a few trophies with them, and he's endured 4 years with Ajax. But it said not so long ago that Erik ten Hag is reluctant to leave Ajax. So there you go. In regards to Solskjaer, he's under serious pressure at Manchester United. Because Manchester United have had back-to-back home defeats to Manchester City and Liverpool, and Man United have only won one of their last 6 Premier League games. As things stand at the moment, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is staying, and Solskjaer will be in charge for the game against Watford after this international break. But defeat to Watford surely will end Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's managerial tenure at Man United. It did say not so long ago that Solskjaer is waiting to be sacked after leaving Manchester, because last Monday Solskjaer flew back home to Norway with his family. Solskjaer is losing the players, he's also losing the fans' support. Now, like I updated you yesterday, Duncan Castles came out and said that senior stars want Solskjaer sacked. And Danny Mills came out and said that Solskjaer commits a sackable offence in Man United training. And our senior players agree that Solskjaer committed a sackable offence. If Solskjaer really cared about the club, he would resign. But obviously he's not going to resign, because he refused to resign after the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool. Manchester United must pay Solskjaer $7.5 million if they decide to sack him, because in the summer Solskjaer signed a new 3-year contract with an option of a further year, and Manchester United made a mistake giving Solskjaer that contract, and a lot of United fans will agree with me on that aspect. Solskjaer should have been sacked after the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool. If we'd have sacked him after that game, I can assure that Manchester United would have got Antonio Conte. He did say after the Liverpool game that Ollie had been given 3 games to save his job, and only won one of them 3 games. Beat Tottenham 3-0, drew 2-2 against Atalanta, and lost 2-0 to Man City. It was an abysmal performance against Man City. After the defeat to Man City, Solskjaer did admit that Man United were outclassed by Man City, and he did say that the Man City defeat was a big step backwards. Solskjaer has been Manchester United manager for almost 3 years. Reflecting now on his being at the football club, he has gained some managerial experience, and he's learned quite a bit on the job, but there's still plenty of things Solskjaer's got to learn because he's still a young coach. Now, we all adore Solskjaer, reflecting on what he's done for the club, because at the end of the day, Solskjaer is a club legend. He endured 11 years as a player for Man United. He flourished under Sir Alex Ferguson's guidance. Yes, as a player, Solskjaer had a proven pedigree because he won a lot of trophies as a United player, but unfortunately, he hasn't got a proven pedigree as a manager. Now, reflecting on Manchester United's poor performances, not all of the blame stems from Solskjaer. Revert back to what I've said before. Yes, some of the blame stems from Solskjaer because obviously Solskjaer's tactics and team selections and that have been questioned. But there's also players that have to take responsibility for those poor performances. Man United are 6th in the Premier League at the moment. This season is Solskjaer's 3rd full season as Man United manager, and I did say at the start of this season that this season was going to be massive for him. Solskjaer's not yet won a trophy as United manager. Man United have not won a trophy since 2017. And Solskjaer is not capable of winning trophies as Man United manager. I just think that the expectations are far too high for him to exceed at Man United as manager. And I do reckon that Solskjaer's in a position that he shouldn't be in. I hate to say all this regarding Solskjaer, but I'm just being realistic. Of course, we all wanted Solskjaer to succeed as Man United manager, but obviously he's not going to. But Man United should be doing much better than they are because we have got a very good squad. It's a title-winning squad, so in reality, Man United should be winning the league this season. Or at least competing for the league. Man United have not won the Premier League since 2013. Man United enjoyed a very good summer transfer window this year, made 4 signings, spent around £141 million. Solskjaer has received very strong backing from the board, and the board still continue to back Solskjaer now. Ollie's enjoyed like 5 transfer windows now as permanent Man United manager. So Solskjaer ran out of excuses a long time ago. Solskjaer got appointed in December 2018 to replace Mourinho. He's been permanent United manager since March 2019. He got the job on a permanent basis, reflecting now well he did as the interim manager. There was United fans though that thought we made a mistake giving him the job permanently. Maybe we should have waited until the end of that particular season to decide on whether he would be the right candidate. But there again, it was hard not to give him the job permanently, reflecting now well he did when he first came in. Solskjaer's managing one of the biggest clubs in the world, and all he knew when he taken over at Manchester United, it was going to be a massive job. Not only a massive job, a difficult job as well. And you know what? I expected Solskjaer to do far worse than he has done, so in that aspect I am shocked. You know, there is positives regarding Solskjaer, like I've mentioned a lot of times before. You know, I think he's developed the youth well since he's come in. I think he has made good signings as Manchester United manager. So far, Solskjaer has signed 14 players. Man United have spent over 400 million under the Solskjaer era. Ollie's also got rid of a lot of players since he's come in, which he knew he had to do. You know, he's loaned players out. He's got rid of a lot of players permanently. You know, in Solskjaer's first full season, he got us to 3 semi-finals. And he got us a third place finish. In his second full season, which was last season, he got us to the EFL Cup semi-final, the FA Cup quarter-final and the Europa League final. That was his first major final as Man United manager. But unfortunately we didn't win it, and last season Ollie got us a second place finish. So yeah, some progress has been made under Ollie. Don't forget, Man United went on the 29-game unbeaten run away from home in the Premier League. It was Leicester that ended our unbeaten away run in the Premier League. But Man United have been far superior away from home than we have been at home. Man United have been abysmal at Old Trafford, and I'm shocked in that aspect because Old Trafford a long time ago was a fortress. We've also extended a lot of players' contracts under Solskjaer. But if Solskjaer does get sacked, he will be the 4th permanent manager to be sacked since Ferguson, because Man United have already sacked 3 managers since Ferguson. We sacked David Moyes, Louis van Gaal, and we also sacked Jose Mourinho. But like I said yesterday, the reason Solskjaer has not been sacked by Manchester United is because there's no long-term replacement. Another reason is financial reasons. And the other one is because he's a legend of the club. You know, Manchester United have got some very, very good players. But the reason we're not getting the best out of a lot of the players is because we're a team of individuals. We don't actually play as a team. You've got the likes of City, Liverpool and Chelsea that all play as a team, and that explains why they're in a much better position than Manchester United at this moment in time. But look who we've got. You know, we've got the best player in the world overall in Cristiano Ronaldo. You know, we've got Mason Greenwood. That's a talented player. You know, Greenwood's still young. He's got a lot of development in him. He's got 4 goals in the league so far this season. You've got Sancho. That is a good player overall, but Sancho has been very poor for Man United so far. But I've got to say Sancho's blameless. I think Solskjaer's to blame for his poor performances, because when Solskjaer decides to play him, he persistently plays him out of position. The fans have been getting on Sancho's back, by the way. You know, you've got Bruno Fernandes, that's an exceptional player. One of the best signings we've made since Fergie retired, without a doubt. And then you've got Marcus Rashford, that's a good player. You know, Rashford's done well in quite a few games since he's come back, but he's had some poor games as well. Don't forget, Rashford was out with a shoulder injury for a while, and at one point, Rashford had to have an operation on his shoulder. You've got Edison Cavani, another good player, but unfortunately I think he's going to be leaving Manchester United next year. You've got Donny van de Beek, who's a good player, but haven't had much of a perception on him at Man United because he hasn't been given enough game time. You've got Paul Pogba, that's also a good player. Not only a good player, he's an imperative player. You've got Luke Shaw, that's a good left back, but Luke Shaw's been very, very poor so far this season. Where's the Luke Shaw from last season? Because last season Luke Shaw was superb. He was far superior last season to how he has been so far this season. Then you've got Tellez, that's also a good left back, but I haven't had much of a perception on him at Man United because he doesn't really get in the team. He'll only play when Shaw's not available. And then you've got Eric Bailly, that's a good centre half. He doesn't get regular game time though, does he? The reasons he lost his place in the team a while ago is because of the signing of Varane in the summer transfer window, and obviously Solskjaer prefers Lindelof ahead of Eric Bailly for some reason. Bailly's only made 3 appearances so far this season, hasn't he? My only element of concern about Bailly is injury prone. And you've also got Varane, that's a very good centre half. He's done well in quite a few games for Man United since he's come, but he's had a couple of games where he's looked off the pace. Varane is now out with a hamstring injury for a month. Not so long ago he had a groin injury and he was out with that groin injury for a few weeks. Varane initially made his return in the 3-0 win against Tottenham and he put a good performance out. You've got Maguire. That is a good centre half when he wants to be, but I think he's been very poor this season and he's been even worse, Maguire, since he come back from that calf injury. You know, you've got Wan-Bissaka, that's also a very good right back as well. You know, the defensive side of his game is superb, but the attacking side of his game is not so good. So yeah, there's definitely aspects of his game that have to improve. He's got to get forward more, his position has to improve, and I think his crossing's got to improve a bit more. And you know, you've got De Gea, that's a very good goalkeeper. He's one of the best keepers in the world. He's been fantastic this season as De Gea. He really, really has. Don't forget, De Gea reclaimed that #1 spot back. And Dean Henderson, he's a good goalkeeper as well, but Henderson doesn't get in goal now, does he? Because like I've just said, De Gea reclaimed the #1 spot back. Henderson's only been in goal for 1 game so far this season, that was West Ham in the Cup. At one point, Henderson was out with COVID for a while, wasn't he? He was. But at one point last season, Henderson got the #1 jersey. So there you go. Like I said, Manchester United are going to offload players next year. I think Man United are going to offload Paul Pogba next year because it did say not so long ago that Man United are prepared to sell Paul Pogba in the January transfer window. Well, it's better to offload him in January and cash in for him rather than let him go on a free transfer next summer. Paul Pogba may never play for Manchester United again, because Pogba is out for 2 months. Pogba suffered a thigh injury in France training last Monday. Reports from France said the other day, like it updated you though, that Pogba wants to renew his contract with Man United, but reportedly on one condition, that he's made the Premier League's highest paid player. So Pogba wants to overtake Ronaldo as the highest paid player. At the moment, Pogba receives around 290 grand a week on his current contract. His current contract expires next summer. Before the start of this season, Pogba rejected a new Man United contract offer. Pogba has got 1 game to serve in the league out of the 3-match ban he got. Pogba got sent off for the 2-footed challenge on Naby Keita in the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool. Pogba did play in the 2-2 draw against Atalanta. I thought he put a poor performance out, and reflecting on his poor performance, he got heavily criticised. Pogba, though, did enjoy a good start to the Premier League season. So far, he's got 7 assists. He produced good performances for Man United in the last couple of months of last season, but at one point last season he was out with a thigh injury for a while, and he sustained a couple of ankle injuries at Man United. Pogba's had a long-running transfer saga though. He's been relentlessly linked with Real Madrid. His former club Juventus have been in for him. He did enjoy 4 good years with Juventus before he rejoined Man United. PSG have been in for him, Barcelona have been in for him. It said earlier on this season that Pogba was offered to Barcelona, and Inter Milan have been in for him before. This season is Pogba's 6th season at Man United since he rejoined. He's won 3 trophies at the club so far, and Man United paid 89 million for him, so reflecting on that, is our most expensive signing at the moment. I think Matic is also going next year. Matic isn't one of our first choice midfielders, but despite that, he still seems to get his opportunities. Surprisingly enough, Matic is ahead of Van der Beek in our midfield. I think Matic is the only predominant centre defensive midfielder that Man United have got. But I've always had my reservations about Matic, even though he has had his good games at Man United. Matic has been at Manchester United for 4.5 years. We got him from Chelsea back in 2017 for 40 million. I think Donny van der Beek is going to be leaving in January because, like I said earlier, Donny van der Beek doesn't get enough game time at Manchester United. And Solskjaer should be starting Van der Beek, especially in the Premier League, because, like I've said, he is a good player. Prior to the Liverpool game, though, Solskjaer did admit that Van der Beek is frustrated and disappointed over his situation at Old Trafford, and earlier on this season it did say that Van der Beek was furious with Solskjaer. You know, Van der Beek's endured a difficult 19 months at Man United. This season is his 2nd full season at the club. You know, got Van der Beek in a deal worth 40 million with add-ons included. He's got a contract with Man United till 2025. There's an option of a further year, and he's versatile. He can play in 3 different roles. Lingard, I think he's also going next year. Lingard doesn't really get in the team, does he? He's made a few appearances this season. Lingard's current contract at Man United expires next summer. Before the start of... earlier on, was it this season? Lingard rejected a new Man United contract because of 2 players. Well, ESPN said earlier on this season that Lingard was a target for Barcelona and AC Milan. I'm hearing that West Ham still want Lingard. They try to get him in the summer transfer window this year, but obviously West Ham were struggling to meet our 25 million asking price. I think West Ham are trying to get him for the cut price deal. Last season, Lingard enjoyed a 4-month loan spell with West Ham and he made an impact. But earlier on this season, I was hearing that Solskjaer wants Lingard to stay. Mata, I think he's leaving the club next year as well. I think Martial and Cavani are leaving next year. I think Tellez is leaving next year. I think Jones and Bailly are leaving next year. I think Dalot's going next year. And I think Dean Henderson will go out on loan, like I've said. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.